Are we done checking?
Are we done checking?
We're done checking?
I think we're done checking.
Oh, okay. We're starting.
Maybe.
Yeah, got it.
Maybe I just want to record you and not tell you we started.
Let's push all the buttons at the same time. Let's see what happens. It's going to be really bad. Oh, nothing. This is bullshit.
Let's do it all in music at once.
That sounds terrible.
That one's good though.
Alright, people don't want to see this. Let's move on.
In your head, lock the doors and close the blinds. Turn on your TV, turn off your mind.
Welcome.
Are you kidding me? They want that.
No. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome.
Here we are again, another edition of Soul of a Gamer.
Yes.
I am Scott Nell.
We are Scott Nell.
We are Scott Nell.
And Steve McKee.
We are Borg.
We are Venom.
And every week we come at you with a different game that we played and we tell you about it. And sometimes we're like, this game sucks. And sometimes we're like, this game rocks. And sometimes we're like, this game is mediocre.
And sometimes we just talk about Night Trap.
Night Trap! It's such a good game song. It's so good.
I mean, it is.
Every game needs a night song or a Night Trap song. That would be sweet.
If every game had that one song and you could just have like this giant playlist of all the best and greatest songs.
I mean, you gotta think of the games we've played again that have those songs and we're just like, the fucking theme of this fucking game is rad. And then, Portal and Night Trap, and I mean, they're just so good. And then the only ones that we really talk about that are really good are like, oh, nostalgia. We remember the Donkey Kong theme. Remember Super Mario Brothers?
I mean, those ones are good. Like,
yeah.
Those are good in different aspects, though. Like, I definitely like those lyrical.
Yeah, but you could listen to this in your car.
Yes.
I know a lot of people listen to fucking Legend of Zelda soundtrack because they're fucking morons. But you know what?
I'm not a moron.
Yeah, I know. I get it. People like different kinds of music. I don't know how you can rock out to fucking Legend of Zelda in your car.
I only do the techno remixes.
Yeah.
So that you can rock out.
My buddy does the Lindsey Sterling one, and I'm like, why the fuck do you do this?
But Lindsey Sterling is amazing.
She is. But there's no... Like, what are you doing when you're doing... You're not singing along. You're not trying to... Like, you're not doing anything. You're just listening to the music and saying, this is good for a car ride.
Well, with Lindsey Sterling... That violin is such a nice, sweet sound that it kind of just eases everything.
All I listen to is fucking Slipknot in the car, and every time it's just psychosocial. That's all it is. All it is all day. All right. So last week we played.
Why are you doing this to me every time?
No.
Donkey Kong?
Yep. Donkey Kong Country.
Ooh, I got it fast this time.
We did Donkey Kong Country, and it was an okay game. We didn't like it too much. We didn't hate it. Like, it's that kind of thing. But this week we are playing Hatoful Boyfriend. Which turns into Hateful Boyfriend.
Hurtful Boyfriend.
That's right. No, wait. Yeah. You sure? I must have.
It said it on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, during the last thing. Mm-hmm. So this game is a dating simulator.
A pigeon dating simulator. A human girl dating pigeons.
Yes. But they're like weirdly human. I don't know. So they've got human portraits, but not all of them do, because they even explain in Okosun's story that he doesn't have one because he's like a newer, intelligent bird. I'm a little confused by him. But.
So there's a lot of weird things to this story, and this story is very complicated, and you have to complete the story a lot.
Yeah.
To get to the actual story.
But we'll talk about that when we get into story. For now, what's on the box is not what we're going to do. There is no box. This is the digital release only.
Yes.
So we will go straight to...
Are We Jammin?
The background sounds in this game are really good.
I actually really enjoy the music in this.
Yeah, they're very... It was weird at moments, because again, there was another game that this is... I don't remember which one, but like weirdly the music like crescendos for no reason.
Yeah.
And you're like, why did it do that? And then when you play the actual like last story, it crescendoed for that reason.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to all go into that, and then instead of writing different things depending on which campaign you're playing, it just did it all.
Yeah.
So and when you're playing the normal story, it just seems like randomly dark music will come on. You're like, why is it dark? I'm literally buying like popsicles or something. Why the fuck is it dark?
Because There's something spooky happening.
Yeah, so, but that's only if you play the main story. During that part, something spooky is happening. So it's this weird thing that they just decided not to differentiate the sounds, which is fine. It didn't make that big of a difference. So
besides that, though, it was just very pleasing to the ears the entire time you're playing. A lot of these dating simulator games have really nice, subtle music that keeps you like
each like perspective person gets their own little thing in there, which is cool too, because you can really tell who you're talking to. If you're not paying attention to the game at all, I guess you can really tell who you're talking to based on the music that's going on.
Yeah.
Or who might be around. Like if you're like, I enter into the living room, and then the music starts playing. You're like, Yuya's here. Okay,
Doctor.
Dr. Shu, Issa, something. I don't remember his real name, but everyone had like fake names in here.
It's Issa though.
Issa something. Yeah.
I don't remember.
So.
We're going to probably get a lot of these names wrong.
I did great on the original names. Just the names that were introduced after the main story.
In a lot of Chinese and Japanese culture, they say your name, most people call you by your last name, and they say your last name first and then your first name.
Which is weird, because what if you have like 7 brothers?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm sure they pick nicknames for everyone. So anyway, music was good. We liked it. No dialogue. It's all
text that you read.
Yep, text read. That's all. And no, there's some weird sound effects in there that kind of explain the weirdest, and the one I hated the most was the wing attack. Yeah. Every fucking time Oko-san you do anything with him, whack! And you're like, why is he hitting me constantly? This is a really abusive relationship.
Coo.
Yeah, coo. He's so... But again, like, apparently he was one of the newer intelligent birds. I'm just so confused at that. Like, why...
But he's still, like, limited in its intelligence?
Yeah, so that's why he says coo, and then it's, like, parentheses underneath the actual wording for it.
And I wonder if the parentheses underneath what he's saying is him speaking in the third person, and that's how they differentiated for him speaking in the third person, or if he's actually just saying coo and everyone understands him. Like,
I think it's coo and everyone understands him, because when you date him, he's like, you understand everything he's saying.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Weird. So yeah, that was the music. The music's pretty, like we said, good. It's nice. It's pleasing. Yeah. We liked it.
It's nice and calming. And if you're playing late at night, laying on a couch, you might fall asleep.
Yeah,
it might have happened to me.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of a boring game, so that's why.
Yeah, until you get to the last.
Yeah. But even that, there's so much fucking reading.
Oh, so much.
So it's kind of boring. They needed to put in a little bit more, but we can talk about that in the next section, which is...
How does it play?
So this game's just a point and click.
Yeah, it's just the same as all these dating simulators.
Yeah, only Dream Daddy had a little bit more. They had some mini games.
Yeah, they had the mini games with it.
Really made it a little bit more fun, because adding those in every once in a while sparsely while you're having to like just fucking read a bunch of text on the...
I mean, this almost had like a Pokemon kind of battle. You did like one thing. You picked one move.
So when you do the angel ending, you do 3 different moves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like some of the endings you do have a little bit more, but it's barely anything. It's one out of 2 choices, and you can get it wrong.
Yeah.
So it's fucking dumb. So yeah, point and click for the most part. It's very boring, guys. The story before the like real story, which we'll get into when we actually get into the story and explain what that is, but the story before that is so just like, you date this guy and you do this thing, but you made this choice, so actually you date this guy.
And it seems like each character has 2 different endings. They have like their true romance ending when you do everything right, and then their other one where you do most of the things right.
Yeah, so only I think 3 or 4 characters have that. It's not too many, but yeah it's really fucking annoying that they did 2 different endings, because how would you even know?
No, exactly.
Like in the achievement thing, they have like little boxes that show achievements. They should have just put descriptions like, do so-and-so's true ending, like just so you know.
Yeah,
because otherwise you just think, okay, I gotta play the final thing to get the last part of this.
Yeah,
like I didn't know unless I looked it up.
No, and I definitely use guides for some of these, because first couple times you probably are going to fail.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get the bad ending most of the time.
So in the bad endings, just you end up alone, I think. Right? I can't remember. I did the bad ending.
Well, I know one of the endings I got killed.
Yeah, that was a Shu. So Shu kills you and then
Well, I got killed by the Hawk party in my house.
Oh, yeah. So that is the bad ending. So I got that, but I wasn't paying attention to the ending at all.
Oh, okay.
So I get the overhead that shows like death, and it's like, you're alone forever. And I'm like, oh, is that it? Really? What the fuck?
Yeah.
You get like an achievement that says like, you're forever alone. And it's the Grim Reaper on it, but I just figured like, oh, so my love is dead? I don't understand.
Well, it's probably, they say you're forever alone because based on what the actual story is, you're not actually dead when they kill you.
Yeah, kind of. I don't. It's very confusing. The hawk party and the dove party, are really kind of annoying concepts in this game. They don't make any sense at all. But the hawk party just hates humans, so just you being a human is kind of weird. So some of the things that you can unlock in this game is you start out, you just literally start. So you don't do anything else. Just start the fucking game because honestly, as you go through, like randomly, you'll have more achievements and then more of these files that you can read, and the files show like weird stuff. This is how you know this game gets weird. So I did the first ending, and I thought that was it. I was like, really? Is it just me dating every fucking person? I don't understand like what's the point of this game. Yeah. So after the first one, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna look it up and see what's going on. And so they looked up a non-spoiler thing, and they're like, yeah, there's a secret ending. So you have to play all the characters' endings, and you get the secret ending. And as you go through and play more of the characters' endings, which the only reason you would do that to get the secret ending, which again they should have fucking explained a little better. Yeah. Because during my first playthrough, there's a bunch of hidden shit that you see, and you're like, why is this happening? This seems like such a weird dating game for this reason.
Do we want to get into story time?
Not yet. I'm just kind of explaining the files that you can unlock. So as you go along and you beat each one, you get more files, and they get creepier and fucking creepier. So that's kind of how, if you would have played this game multiple times without looking it up, I'm sure that's how they would have told you, like, hey, there might be more.
Well, and definitely in some of the stories, you get some weird aspects where you're like, what the fuck? Like, when you get killed you're like, why the fuck was I just killed? Yeah. What the fuck just happened?
If you mess up and don't date anyone, somehow the hawk party knows that you're not a whore and you go and you get fucking killed. I don't know.
And it's just... But it doesn't explain anything. You don't know what the hawk party is. You just know you got murdered. And she says when you're getting murdered that you're getting murdered by ninjas. She's like, what? Ninjas? Yeah.
Well, she calls a bunch. I think she calls a couple people ninjas. Nageki's a ninja. He's a book ninja. Yeah. Dr. Shu's a ninja. But everybody's a fucking ninja. So many
of this. And I'm like, what is going on? And I mean... The story is like weird anyways because she's the only human in this entire school full of birds.
Literally zero
intelligent
backstory.
Birds.
So you have no idea what's going on until the last ending, or if you read all the files.
So I'm
the
guessing
files can reveal it.
Yeah, it's basically just you have to push through all this and be so curious that you have to go through all the endings to see what's going on. It is
so fucking boring. It is. There's every decision you make is just kind of like sparsely in between like 30 to 40 minutes of fucking text on screen. It's they should have put a little bit more decisions in, or maybe some interactiveness in.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Interactiveness. It would have been a lot better.
So fucking boring.
Because like, and I mean, I know like. With these style of games, they don't want to do like any like gameplay kind of mechanics, but like
you got to put something in there. You can't just make it text based. It's so fucking. It's long. It just makes it feel. It makes 10 hours feel like 50.
Well, and it's like the dates and everything with these people aren't even necessarily that interesting. Like with Dream Daddy, I was interested to see what the other dates were. Yeah, like I was interested to see, ooh, what's this date? And there was you didn't have to beat a certain amount of dates to unlock a real story.
Oh, I mean, you did. You had to beat all the dates, I think, or a few of the dates to get the whatever ending.
I think you had to do Roberts, at least 2 of them. I think you had to do the main guy and the grouchy guy.
Main guy?
Or not the main guy, the blonde dude and...
So you had to do Roberts
and the grungy guy.
The church guy.
Yeah, the church guy, yeah.
So you had to do those 2 at the very least, but I think you had to do one more because you had to get one more thing.
Maybe.
I don't remember. I think you heard about the Dover Ghost somewhere else, too.
Oh, I think you're right.
I don't remember. But anyway, we're not talking about that game. So, all right, we'll move on to...
It's story time. Let's get started.
Story time, guys.
We are.
So now, story of this game is pretty fucking out there.
Oh, it's way out there.
So this is one of those things where we can't like talk about our favorite parts really because the whole fucking game is a story.
Yeah, I mean,
so
like,
we'll go into like very rudimentary things. We won't go into every fucking character's ending. Maybe some of the ones we like the best, and then we'll go into this hidden story that's behind all the other stories.
Yeah.
So to start out this game, you're, like Steven said, a girl, a human woman. I don't know, like 16 probably. 15?
They're all like probably around
15, 16?
Yeah, I'm guessing she's like high school age.
Yeah,
because it seems 15. She was 15. They did say it was 15.
All right, so she's 15. You're admitted to I guess the previous year you're admitted to the Pigeon Nation Academy, which is a school for fucking birds, and somehow you're admitted, and you're like, what in the actual fuck happened here?
Yeah, and it doesn't tell you why you're the only human there at all until you get to the secret ending.
Yeah, so you're the only human, and all these fucking pigeons want to fuck you. That's it. That's all they want to do. It's just they all want to fuck a human.
And you're weirdly attracted to
and you're like, oh my god, his arms are wings. Ooh.
It's more like a personality kind of love.
Yeah, you really like the personality of people, even though you hate them all.
Yeah.
So there's 8 characters?
Because there's Sun, there's Ritori, or whatever his name is.
So it's Ryota,
Okasan,
Kazuaki, Yuya,
Nageki.
What was the brother's name of Yuya? God, I always said his name wrong. Sayu something. Sayuaki?
Something like
that. It was hard.
Sasuaki?
Maybe. It was very hard to say. So he's the brother of Yuya, who doesn't like each other, apparently. Dr. Shu, Angel.
Yeah.
And is that it? I mean, there's the girl.
The teacher?
Yeah, Kazuaki's the teacher.
Yeah.
There's a girl that you meet randomly that you can romance. You don't have to. She's weird.
Okay, I don't think I'd.
So you can give her name is it's the girl on the scooter.
Oh,
so you can actually romance her or give her to another guy as another ending.
Oh, okay.
So you could do 2 endings in some cases in one playthrough, and hers is one of the ones you can do 2 endings for. Because you can get her love interest, and this is the funny one. So you meet her and you start working in this cafe, and she comes in because she saves you from some bullies or some. It's very confusing. Somehow birds really intimidated you, and I'm like, why don't you just smack them away? They're fucking birds.
Yeah,
break their fucking necks.
I mean, she did it all the time. She threw Okasan and Sasuke out of the window or out of the room several different times, depending on your decisions.
So these bullies come and she can't do that. So someone has to save her, and the girl who saves her is this girl who you met earlier, and you tell her, hey, come to the cafe. And her previous love interest is in the cafe, this cockatoo guy. I think it was a cockatoo. Okay. No, it wasn't a cockatoo. He used to be in a biker gang that obeyed they obeyed the fucking speed limits. That was their whole mentality as a fucking biker gang.
I respect that.
Yeah, that's why she goes
especially
so
for
slow.
Bikers.
I guess so, but they go under it too. Like she goes really slow. It takes them hours to get her home.
Goes stupid slow.
That's because she was in that stupid game, and she still respects the game. And if you notice on the side of her scooter, because it shows you a picture of her scooter, it says Blaster.
Yeah, and
Blaster's the name of the guy, and you can do one of 2 things here. You can say like, "What about your scooter?" or yeah, she doesn't love you anymore. And if you say, what about your scooter? You get the Blaster ending, and the game starts rolling the credits, and then it's like, wait a second, this is my story, stop it! So you continue playing. It was really fucking weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, I got that on my first playthrough.
Oh, weird. Yeah. I died on my first playthrough.
So my first one, I ended up with Kazuaki.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how. I honestly was going for Yuya at first, and then I kind of shifted to Ryota, and then
I did the same
somehow
thing.
I got to Kazuaki. And it's because I let him walk me home, I think.
I immediately went to Yua, and then I started out as Sasaki, or whatever his name is, and then went to Yua, because Sasaki was kind of a prissy bitch.
She's a little prissy bitch.
And then I switched to Ritori, and then I didn't realize switching that many times Ryota, sorry. I don't know why I keep fucking that.
God damn it.
I'm Ryota. I'm sorry, Ryota.
Ryota, probably, because of the U.
I will say one of my favorite story parts of this that I absolutely loved was them talking about a certain pigeon, Brian the pigeon.
Yeah, because it's a real pigeon. Yeah, I had to look him up. Like it even says like, look him up. He's a real pigeon. And I was like, but then it said, it's so weird. So this is where the game doesn't make any sense. So the game apparently takes place on like 2150.
Yeah, at 2187.
Yeah, and Brian the Pigeon is from 2006 or something, or 7. Yeah. And you're like, what?
2006, you were right.
But he just won another fucking accolade. That's how he comes up.
Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah, and I'm like, how the fuck? Why is he still alive? I don't understand.
And for all of you guys who are wondering, he actually still has a Twitter account.
Yeah.
So if you look up Brian Pigeon.
Yeah, so he's got a fucking Twitter. It's fucking weird, guys. It's
the original blogging and twittering pigeon who's been telling it how it is for pigeons everywhere since 2006.
Yeah, so he's like a famous pigeon to them. He's the first intelligent pigeon, I think. So maybe he won a Pulitzer Prize like post-mortem.
Oh, he could have,
so
possibly.
Maybe that was it for one of his shitty tweets. Who knows?
I just liked that they actually had like some ties to the real world. Like it was just so funny to me. Like I was like when it said Google Brian the Pigeon, I was like, are you telling me to Google Brian the Pigeon, or are you telling the character to Google? I'm Googling it fucking right now.
Because it doesn't mention anything like that anywhere else in the game. I was like, there's no way it's not telling me. So you get that little Brian the Pigeon from, I think it's Yuya. I'm pretty sure he's the one who tells you about it.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So each character has their own shit. So we'll go into a little bit explanation of the characters. Yuya is like a ladies' man.
Yeah, he's definitely like the cool guy in school.
He fucked a bunch
man.
of women. Bunch of bird women.
Definitely. He's kind of like that guy that every girl goes after in high school. The guy that typically is like the jock of the school or the most
I think he's just mostly in anime. He's just the prettiest, I think.
Yeah.
So if it was like an anime, he'd be the best looking and the smartest who gets all the A's in school, because that's what's important in anime for some reason.
I guess that's true.
So because Japanese school is very different from American
that's way
school.
more important for them.
Yeah. So you got Yuya, who's that. Ryota, who's like a sickly best friend character. You've known him since he was a hatchling. Yeah. So that's really why you talk to him, because you've known him forever since he was born.
You actually, when he was born, he fell out of his nest, and you end up going over to him and helping him back to his nest. Yeah. And you basically saved his life, and you guys became friends ever since then. Yeah. And that gets brought up in the game a couple different times about how you saved his life, and his mom's really ill, so he's always working. I think he works like 4 different jobs. Yeah. It's while he's in school too. Yeah. Like you can choose at one point to get a job, and if you choose to get a job, Ryota comes in and he's like, "Hey, I actually wanted this job," and you can either choose to give him that job or to keep the job. Him the job. I kept the job the first time because I was like, "Fuck you, I need money too, bitch. Get out of here." I was like, it doesn't seem like I need money. I live on my own. I capture all my own food. There's no real like. Nothing bad happens if you don't give him the job. He just finds another job. I think my favorite of his job is that transgender place that he works at. Yeah. Where he has to dress and his name's like Catherine or something. Something like that. It's fucked. Like his whole thing is fucked. Everything about him is fucked. Oh, so much. Especially when you actually know what happens with him. Like, and you don't even think he's going to be the main person, but he ends up being it. It's weird. He definitely, like... He definitely seems like one of those background characters. The character that's in every single rom-com or whatever, that best friend that's always there, blah, blah, blah. Could be the love interest, could not be. Yeah. One of those things where you don't really know. But he's actually probably, I would say, the main character of the game. Yeah, he probably is. So then we go to... Was it Sazuaki? Sazuaki or whatever his name is. We'll call him Sazuaki because I think it's similar to that, but I'm pretty sure it's not that. Yeah, and he's like a rich guy. Yeah, he's a pedigree bird. He's Yuya's brother. From nobility. They say half brother. Yeah, he's his brother pretty much. So he's a half brother. Later on, you find out he's full brother, but we'll explain that when we get to the ending thing. He's kind of an asshole. He's pompous. He's definitely a pompous prick. Yeah. Like, he definitely thinks every other person there is not up to his level. He calls everyone something really mean all the time. He's like, listen, you something, you not mongrel. He says mongrel. Yeah, he calls everyone a mongrel because he's richer than them. And I'm like, so he's that character. Like, again, anime has all these fucking characters. It has a best friend you've known forever. It has a good-looking guy who's kind of aloof. It has a rich guy who's really pompous and think he's better than everyone, but then has a turnaround later in the story. Like, it's really interesting that all these characters are just basically anime. Sakuya. And then Asami is the girl. Asami, okay. So yeah, Sakuya, I always had problems. Sakua. It's because I didn't know it was Kua or Kua. Sakuya. Kua? think it's Sakuya.
Sakuya
LaBelle.
Yeah. So
He's from the LaBelle.
Yeah, he's from the LaBelle family. So he's just a rich pompous asshole. So that's his character. Nageki's like a bookworm who spends all his time in the library.
Literally never anywhere else other than the library.
Yeah. And then so we got Nageki in the library. Okosan's like
he's a sporty
he's the
kind.
jock guy. Yeah, he's one
on the track team.
Yeah, and he's also like slightly illiterate. I don't fucking know. He's dumb as shit.
He only speaks in coos, like we said earlier.
So literally
and he speaks in third person always too.
Yeah. Okosan will do this. Like, it's really weird. He's like the least likable character, I think.
Okosan knows what to do. Okosan kick his ass. Okosan does this.
Yeah.
Okosan does
Every
that.
time you meet him, he wing attacks you. So he slaps you every fucking time. And you're like,
and
would
he's
you
fucking psychotic
He is
and thinks
psychotic.
there's pudding everywhere.
Yeah.
And if there's not pudding, he freaks out even more. Or this pudding isn't good. He's like stomping on the ground on nothing.
This pudding is shit.
And his ending is all about finding pudding. And if you find the best pudding, you like go to heaven. It's weird. It's like the weirdest shit. It's weird as fuck.
I don't think they ever really explain his story to the fullest. Like,
No,
at
really
all.
not.
Like, I'm so confused at who he is or why.
Yeah. He had like the least probably interaction of any character.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I didn't even want to interact with him.
No, he was kind of boring, but you have to, and he has two endings, of course. You have to do it fucking twice. It's so annoying. All right, so we got Okosan, that's 5. Who are we missing? Kazuaki. Kazuaki's a narcoleptic teacher.
Falls asleep all the time in class.
Which it doesn't really explain why he's narcoleptic, because in his past he's not.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Very
either.
weird. Dr. Shu. Dr. Shu's like the doctor who's fucking a maniac.
Everyone thinks he's psychotic. He works in the infirmary.
Everyone
at the
but fucking Sakura and Yuya.
Yeah, because he created this medicine that helped the LaBelle family. So Sakuya always treats him with respect.
Yeah, but Yuya's at a distance with him because he's if you do Yuya's story, you find out that he's a hawk agent, not Yuya, but Dr. Shu. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. They go in and they're like, yeah, we've been spying on you. Because Yuya was placed there by the Dubs.
Yeah. So. Well, and the teacher, by the way, is a math teacher, and he's one of the most brilliant mathematicians ever to have lived.
But it never really explains that any other time besides saying it in the first part.
Yeah. And then the doctor is supposed to be one of the most brilliant doctors in all of the world.
And they're both in a fucking high school working, so what the fuck? Really? Yeah, I chose to be an outcast instead of a famous person.
Well, I mean, in the world that they're in, this probably is the most prestigious school.
School. But remember, they had like laboratories and stuff because Dr. Shu was in a laboratory before, so they could have. I don't know. But
he's a laboratory in the school.
It makes sense why he's there, and it makes sense why Kazuaki's there later.
Yeah.
But if you just play the main story, it does not make any sense.
That's true.
So Dr. Shu, we're missing someone. Who the fuck are we missing? We got Nageki, Yuya, Sakura, Ryota, Kazuaki.
Angel?
Oh yeah, Angel. Angel's probably the best character in this whole fucking thing. His story is the most interesting and it's the weirdest.
He's definitely weird.
Yeah, so at first you think like, where the fuck is this guy coming from? So he's got a weird power. Whenever his reality, whatever he thinks reality is, other people around him think reality is that as well.
Yeah, he creates realities and brings people into his realities.
Yeah, so like, they're not real, I don't think. So I don't even think they can hurt you. But
I don't
to
think so
you,
either.
they look real.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, he's like very empathetic, I guess, because he basically touches people in a different way. So it's a very interesting character. Like they must have really spent a lot of time on that character.
Oh yeah,
because he is very interesting.
Yeah, like he's so crazy because he'll just be like, he talks like he's in a D&D kind of world.
I think what it is, because in the ending, Ryota starts talking about like that too, and I think it's a manga.
Oh, okay.
I think it must be because that's what it sounds like. He reads a manga and he's really trapped in that manga's world.
Yeah, okay.
So,
because he's always talking about like whenever like evil's around, he's like, "Oh, I can smell evil in the air. They're coming near us. We should get out of here right now."
Can you smell what did he call it? The something particles or the?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember, but he kept calling Dr. Shu Wollenstein.
Well, yeah, Dr. Wollenstein.
Wollenstein has come. I must fight him. Like it was so fucking weird. But his story is weird too because he's not even introduced. Like in the first playthrough, I had no idea he was there. I don't know. I
didn't know he was there until you brought him up. Because my first like 4 playthroughs, I didn't even get to him.
Yeah, so I don't understand how he comes about. So there must be something you do that makes him appear. Because one of the things that you do is you go to a shrine and you pray at the shrine, and you can either pray for world domination by force, world domination from the shadows,
or be the best artist of all time.
Yeah. you're like, what the fuck? And then
it's so bizarre. You're like, of all the 3 things you could wish for,
really
2
weird.
of them are world dominance, one's by force, one's behind the shadows, and then be the best artist?
Yeah,
what
so-
the fuck?
And I think only one person has a be the best artist, but multiple people have shadows and world
because
domination.
Sakya is the be the best artist.
and then Yuya and Shu are from the
Because-
shadows. Oko-san's by force, and so is somebody else.
Because if you go after Sakya, you find out that he's actually got a huge love for arts, and he's a brilliant piano player.
And if you do his true ending, you have to do... So you have like electives in this game that you can do that can increase stats that are kind of worthless.
Yeah.
And the only point in them is to get true endings for characters.
Yep.
So you can either...
Go to math class, music class, or the gymnasium.
Yeah, and if you go to music class only, you get Sakawa's true ending if you pursue him.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to gym class only, you get...
Akusan's.
Oko-san's and Asami's.
Okay.
Because you have to go to gym class to fight off those guys that I was telling you about. Because otherwise she doesn't respect you.
Yeah.
Then you go to math class to get
the teacher.
Yuya. The teacher you don't honestly have to do anything special.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yuya and
you just get more interactions with the teacher, and you do better on your test.
Dr. Shu is the main one because you get a true ending with Dr. Shu. So Dr. Shu's endings are pretty fucked. They're both like you die, I think.
Yeah.
Because the first one he kills you to preserve you forever.
Yes.
And the second one he kills you and I think himself. I was very confused at that one.
I don't think I will remember that one.
Yeah, it was very interesting that when you even fall in love with him because he's fucking creepy as shit.
Oh, he's so... You can just tell this guy oozes evil.
Yeah,
you see him and you read his text in the most evil voice ever. Especially even the way he laughs. Everybody else is like, ha 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 ha. He's like, ho 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 ho.
Yeah, he's like, he's super evil. And he's a fat
I'm gonna
bird.
fucking kill you and your fucking family, you fucking pricks.
He's really fat too.
So fat.
But his character is really good looking.
And
he's
he's
the best
disabled
looking
on his left side.
But it never explains that, ever. At any given point until the ending. So
yeah.
Really weird. Anyway, so now that we've gotten to all these characters, we kind of explained a little bit of the endings. Angel's ending's probably the best, like I said. You fight his heart at the end, and you actually do like a Pokemon battle-ish.
Yeah.
Where you get like 3 choices at 3 options or 2 options, and you have to choose the right options, and if you choose the wrong options, you take too much damage and you die. So it's recommended that you do gym class because it raises your HP.
Yeah. Gym class raises vitality, math classes raises your intelligence or wisdom. And then music class raises your charisma. Yeah. And then also doing other actions can also raise some of your stats.
Yeah, so if you join the library, you raise your wisdom a bunch.
Yeah.
If you get to join a club. Clubs are really important in Japan. Here, they're fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Club, but in Japan, it's like weird if you're not in a fucking club.
Oh, it's extremely weird. So, if you don't go home after school in Japan. You go to 1 to 5 different clubs.
Just watch fucking what is the volleyball manga? Why can't I think of it now? It starts with an H.
I don't remember.
Hakyu?
I think you're right.
I think it's Hakyu. Watch that. It's a volleyball manga, and it really shows how important fucking clubs are.
Yeah, if you're going to watch a sports anime, though, you should watch the one where the women fight with their butts and their boobs.
No. Watch.
No, it's good, though. Kinjo?
Really
I think it's called Kinjo.
Okay.
I haven't watched it all yet, but it's fucking good.
You'd like Hakyu, too. Hakyu's fun.
I probably would. Honestly, that one, I heard that one's really good. Yeah. I heard there's a basketball one that's really fucking good.
Yeah, basketball.
And I heard there's a
baseball.
swim one.
Yeah, baseball one, too. Swim one, probably.
Yeah, the swim
sports
one
manga has gotten huge.
Sports manga is fucking phenomenal. I wasn't expecting sports manga to be good at all.
Yeah,
but
it's weird. It's a weird thing, to watch something slowed down if you're reading it.
Yeah,
but if you're watching, it's probably better.
I don't know if I'd read them, but I would definitely watch them. One of my favorite movies before it was really popular. And
Hakyu, I think.
But one of my favorite sports movies of all time is actually Shaolin Soccer. Nice. It's actually a live action Chinese movie, but
they kick babies.
Oh my god, dude! These Shaolin monks play in soccer, and it's like Shaolin monks against other Shaolin monks.
What's soccer?
Football.
Oh, okay.
These Shaolin monks play football. And it's fucking spectacular. The powers of their because one guy, he's got an iron stomach. He's the goalie, And like other guys can like kick the ball like 400 miles an hour, and it's just like spinning inside of his stomach and like ripping his stomach to shreds, ripping his jersey. Like, it's fucking phenomenal.
All right, I'll check it out. All right, so now there are 15 endings to the game.
Yes.
You need to do 14 of them to get the true ending.
Yes.
You only need to do the main characters, like 3 of the main characters, to do the true ending without the true ending.
Yes.
So, like, you can... It's weird. So you can do it by not doing every character, but it's better to do every fucking character. So,
and I definitely suggest that because... And I was one where I got done with a couple endings on this, and I was like, I'm just kind of done. And Scott told me that there is a true ending to the game, and basically the entire point of this game is to get to this true ending. Yeah. So if you're gonna play this at all,
you got to get to the true ending.
Go all the way.
It's fucking weird.
Like, you have to. It's so fucking bizarre, but because of how bizarre it is, it's intriguing as fuck.
Yeah.
Like I was intrigued as hell. I wasn't intrigued most of the story.
Yeah.
For most of the characters.
It's boring.
It's boring as fuck. But when it got to the true ending, as soon as it got to that, I was like, okay, what the fuck is going on?
So they do something very interesting in the true ending. So when you start it says like, hey, live a normal life or fulfill a promise from long ago.
Yes.
And you fulfill a promise to get the true ending. And the interesting thing they do is they kill off the main character right away.
Yes.
This is not normal. So games will do this. Like trilogies will fucking do this. Where you've had 3 games with this character and then suddenly it's gone because he saved the world from whatever.
Well, I mean like Red Dead Redemption killed off the main character.
Yeah, but at the end of the game, after you've done all this cool shit.
Yeah, exactly.
This one, like, you get to play a little bit and then the dating aspect, sure. You can do all that and you can fall in love with the main character, but then once you get to the true ending, they kill him off immediately. Kill her off immediately. Yeah. And which is a very interesting way to do this. Like, it's not normal for a game to do that. So that's already fucking interesting. The only problem I had with this true ending is you cannot tell you're in the true ending for a good probably half hour.
Yes, I will agree with that because it seems like a normal start of the game. Everything's the same. You're the same character. You're doing everything. And then all of a sudden, screen changes colors. It goes from the blue or whatever to the purple.
Yeah, so it does a couple things in the true ending that I ended up noticing. It goes through the same shit, but randomly it'll pop up like messages saying like, I can't even remember. They were so cryptic. They're cryptic fucking messages saying,
like the dream sequence.
Yeah, I once remembered something about something that I don't remember anymore. And you're like, what the fuck did you just say?
And this entire true ending is about remembering something from your past.
Yeah, a promise, which the promise was
Ritori's
Ryota.
Fucking, why can't I do this?
Ritori, the best character in the game.
Well, Hitori is a character.
You go normal stuff for about 30 minutes until there's a spot in the game where it does this too. They say, hey, I wanted to walk home with Ryota. Where is he? And if you talk to Ryota at the picnic, I think you get that. Mm-hmm. And then here, it's just you get it no matter what.
Yeah.
So you basically ask Kazuaki, like, hey, I wanted to walk home with Ryota. Where is he? And Kazuaki's like, he's in the infirmary. Yeah. He's sick again because he's constantly sick.
Always.
And you go there, and that's when it changes.
Yes.
So normally what happened was you would talk to the doctor and be like, Ryota already left. Go away.
Yeah.
And this time, instead of that, you go there and the screen blacks out. And you say, like, Ryota, screen blacks out, and you're in school, and you're now replaying as Ryota.
Yeah.
Which is fucking weird.
So bizarre.
You have no idea why that happens.
And the Hatoful Boyfriend at the bottom turns to Hurtful Boyfriend.
Yeah.
And, like, everything changes, and you're like, okay, what?
Yeah. So then, like, everyone's like, hey, where the fuck is the main character? Main character this, main character that. And Kazuaki's like, I don't fucking know. Go get me this box of shit that's left in the storeroom.
Yeah, apparently, like, all the classes were getting this box of something.
Pamphlets or something.
And so he goes to
the festival.
Grab the box, brings it back into the classroom. He's like, man, this box is heavy. And as soon as he gets to the classroom, the teacher's like, hey,
you bleeding?
Why are you bleeding? You got a cut or something? He's like, no, I didn't cut myself. I don't know what you're talking about. Looks at his wings, can't find any cuts or anything. Then realizes there's blood in the box.
Yeah, the edge of the box, there's some blood. And so he opens the box and he's like, step 1, cut a hole in the box.
And I know what you guys are going to say. what's in the box?
So,
What's in the box?
so he opens.
What's in the box?
And it's weird because he even before he opens the box, this is that typical anime thing, and this is exactly what I thought. So if you watch anime and so a character goes to do something that they're really uncomfortable doing, they'll freeze for a moment, and then their character, like, there'll be like a real character, and then like a second, like almost ghostly character behind them that's them, and they're like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, and that's what Ryota's like whole thing was. In this
And if you got the reference, you already know what's in the fucking box.
it is the main character's head. Merry Christmas.
What the fuck?
And I would have only hoped Kazuaki B goes, these aren't very good pamphlets.
Well, and then everyone's like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on?
Well, and so I at first thought everyone would know. Everyone was calm. The other the only one who was freaking out was Ryota.
Yeah,
everyone
else
was like,
thought it was like weird, but they didn't think it was like that weird.
So, and then I thought it was weird at first, and then I attributed it to seeing a dead bird on a freeway.
Yeah.
Even if it's intelligent, you're like, oh, it's just a fucking bird.
And that's exactly how it is. Like, the birds do not see humans the same way that we see humans. So if, like, I opened a box and there was a head in it, I'd freak the fuck out.
But a bird may just, unless it's Ryota who knew the main character their entire life.
Yeah, exactly. None of the other characters really knew.
Yeah, Kazuaki's like, calm down, Ryota. It's just a fun. You've never seen a fucking head before? What the fuck's wrong with you?
You've never seen dead humans?
God.
We've been in a war with humans for years.
Yeah, so, like, they're like... It gets so fucking weird, and then suddenly a emergency is called.
Yep, and then the headmaster calls everyone to the gymnasium, and then you quickly realize everyone starts talking. No one's really getting an explanation of what's going on. Every single classroom of the school got a box with a piece of the main character in it.
Yeah, so like,
like what the fuck?
I don't know what happened to Torso. There's no way that they put a torso in the box. Box is not that big.
No, I'm guessing because there's quite a decent amount of classrooms. They probably just cut her up because, like, one classroom said they got her thigh, one classroom said they got her arm.
Yeah, but I'm confused. What happened to the torso then?
I don't know. He might have just gotten rid of it too.
Yeah, maybe. So you all find boxes and they're all body parts, and they call an emergency meeting and then put a dome.
Yep.
Around the school, and it's weird. Like, so you're in the gymnasium with all the students, and you notice that there's a dome around the school suddenly, and you're like, where the fuck did that come from? And Ryota's like, I can't just leave her there. We gotta help her.
So then they go back to the classroom to go grab her head,
and it's Ryota and Sakura. And so this is where Sakura becomes a cool character.
I agree with that fully. Like, Ryota and Sakura together, honestly, was fantastic, and you got to play as both in this.
Yeah,
Ryota more than Sakura.
Yeah, and Sakura is like a small part, but it's still fun. They go back to class. It is missing, but like literally right away, it's like, "Hey guys," and Yuya comes in. He's like, "Don't worry, I took the head," and you're like, "What?"
He's like, I also took all the other body parts. We're assembling them back together. We're doing an autopsy with Dr. Shu right now.
I totally thought he was going to be like, listen, I've been fucking him for hours. What do you want him for? I'm a ladies guy. What? God damn it. I'm the most popular. I get to fuck the dead bodies. So he's... So yeah, it's so weird. They're doing an autopsy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think the mode of death right now is fucking getting chopped up to pieces, motherfucker. It could literally be anything. It doesn't matter what the mode of death is. Somebody actively chopped her up, so we know it's a fucking murder.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
In the autopsy, they're like, it definitely seems like she died of asphyxiation. And she died before she was set up because it would be much bloodier.
I have no idea how the fuck they did not do. So obviously these people don't watch crime shows. So yes, if it was asphyxiation, it could have been by choking or poison. I'm like, all right, is there bruising around the neck? If there's no bruising around the neck, then it wasn't. It was fucking poison. A. B. You wouldn't be able to tell asphyxiation if there wasn't choking. Yeah. Because you don't have the fucking torso. So they must have gotten the fucking torso from somewhere.
Well, and we know why he knows it was asphyxiation.
Yeah, but I'm like, where the fuck did they have the torso or not? Where'd they go? So maybe someone got a really big box.
Well, they said that they put all the pieces back together.
So someone must have gotten a huge fucking box. Like, man, there's a lot of pamphlets in here. Like, because the torsos are way big unless they cut them up like Like in sections of the torso?
Yeah.
It could have been that, I guess.
That's what I'm thinking it is.
Yeah,
Probably
maybe
4
like-
sections of the torso.
Yeah,
or
maybe
something.
that's in. Like the tits were over here and the belly button's over here.
Depending on what her size was too, she could have been a smaller human.
Probably, but still, you have to cut up the torso to fit in because the boxes are like shoe boxes. They're not very big. So
are we gonna go over the entire?
Well, like I said, the story is so interesting.
Yeah,
but we don't have to go over the entire thing. We'll skip some stuff. We'll introduce a new character here. Do that stuff. So it tells you to go look up this new character. It tells you to explore the halls. You kind of do that. You figure out some stuff. Sako is really fucking helpful.
So helpful, and he's so
smart.
logical.
Yeah,
and like you actually see his intelligence. You actually see why he's like doing the things he's doing, and you get more and more into his backstory.
Yeah.
Like you got a little bit of his backstory with his love for music and not really wanting to be a label and stuff, but like now you're getting more and more into his actual story of who he is as a person, and you're finding out that he's way more than he's let on to.
Because his whole thing is, explains this later, but his whole thing is like his father wants him to be like super perfect, and that's why he calls everyone mongrels, because his father says, hey, they're all fucking worse than you.
Yep.
You're a label.
Everyone is worse than you. You're a proud label. You need to be a proud label. You need to be everything, and that's how everyone convinces him to do anything.
Yeah.
Wouldn't a noble person need to know this information about the people? I guess you're right.
Damn it.
I guess I'll come.
So they both go explore, and eventually they end up telling Kazuaki about the autopsy. He comes and like monitors it with Yuya. So Yuya, Kazuaki, and Shu stay in the room. Yeah. You go to explore. You do several things. You go to outside the dome and you find out there's a hatch up top. You fly up there and you realize you can't open it. So you got to figure out that. You decide to go to the headmasters. You need to get a key. So you go to this guy,
the maintenance person.
Well, so you go to Kazuaki, and while you're doing Kazuaki's getting a key from someone, you find the maintenance person who you suggest you go visit, whose name is One.
Yeah, the One.
The what? Isn't it just One, or is it the One?
I think it was the One. But
so anyway, the One.
Whatever.
Yeah, which is a dumb fucking name, and he's like saying like, yeah, I haven't seen a dead human since this. Oh, I haven't done that since then. And you're like, what the fuck? Are you like a Superman? What the hell?
Like, there's so many times where they're like, hey, can you break this encryption pad to not blow this up? And he's like, oh yeah, maintenance man can do anything. And he's like, I don't think you're just a maintenance man.
So eventually it reveals that he's actually part of the Dove Party.
Yeah.
His name is Leone, which every time I heard that, I was like, Mama Leone, da 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 da. It's just because it's the Billy Joel song, and it's Mama Leone, because it's a typical New York fucking thing. Yeah. Like, oh, hey, Mama Leone, what's up? It's fucking so typical. But you meet him, his name is Leone. I can't remember the last part, but it's like he's a massive. He kept saying massive, and it made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, I'm a massive spy. I'm like, your dick's huge? What the fuck? And then he gives you a skeleton key. He's like, this is called the massive key. And you're like, why are you naming everything massive? I am so confused. And
he also gives you a stun gun that you never. Oh no, you use it once.
So you find out that later on, a little bit later. But for now, you go to the headmaster's office. You want to talk to the headmaster. He hasn't been seen since his little broadcast.
Yeah, and his broadcast was very cryptic and didn't give any information. So they were just trying to get answers from him, thinking he might know what the dome is, why it's up, what the fuck's going on, anything.
Yeah. So when you go there the first time, you meet Labor 9.
Yes.
So it's this robot who's traversing the halls, trying to keep people
with a burlap sap on his head.
With burlap sap, but it's a fucking robot. It's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
So burlap sack on the head. It's fucking like just trying to hit things. I don't even know if it's trying to kill things. Yeah, it's like a zombie. It's really slow. Yeah, and you're like, why would anyone build a robot like this? This is a really
he's like
bad
dragging
robot.
a blade on the ground as he's walking, and
I think it's just his arm. I think one arm is just fucking massive. I don't know.
It's a massive blade.
Is it a blade?
I thought it was a blade.
It kind of looks like it almost looked like a wiffle ball bat. Or like the cricket bat. It's kind of flat but thick.
I thought it was something, but it might not be.
Who knows? Like, because he never really uses it that way.
No.
So Labor 9 is just chasing you out of the halls. Eventually, you get a key. You go back to the headmaster's office. You go in, and surprise!
He's dead.
What?
He was poisoned.
No.
Oh no! Now we've got 2 dead bodies.
I know. So now there's 2, and now it's a pigeon. So people freak out a little bit more.
Yeah, a lot more people are freaking out. About the headmaster being dead.
Well, and they don't tell anyone except for the people that are there.
Yeah.
Except Kazuaki doesn't freak out at all. And neither does Dr. Shu. He's like, ugh, it's obviously poison again. Asphyxiate. Can you see it? Can you see it right here? I don't have to do an autopsy in this one. I get it.
I don't want to spoil this, but at the same point, this game does not hide who the bad guy is at fucking all.
No, Dr. Shu is for sure the bad guy.
Like, it's so stupid. And he tries to be like...
And Ryota does not trust him, like, through the entire thing.
The entire thing. Like, nobody likes... Everyone thinks he's maniac. Everyone thinks he's psychotic.
Except for
Sakuya.
And Yuya. Even Yuya is like... But Yuya watches him at the very least.
Even Yuya has a reason why he doesn't say anything bad against him.
Yeah, he does.
And so like, it's just so bad. I wish they did better at hiding who the villain was.
Because he's like, oh.
Well, and he's always
I didn't touch the body.
I didn't kill the body.
And it's like, it couldn't have been me. I have an excuse.
Yes.
It's like the weirdest fucking shit. So they go around and they ask people what their excuses are. Okosan, he says he sees a person with blood all over them.
He says blood on their chest.
Yeah, no. His first thing is blood all over them.
Oh, yeah, blood all over
And you're like, what? And then it's fucking Angel, who's like a bird with a red spot on his chest. I'm like, Okosan! Nowhere near all over them!
He's got a red spot on his chest. He doesn't have blood on him, you fucker.
So, but in the headmaster's office, do they find the controls to the hatch?
Yes.
The hatch only remains open for 30 minutes, I think.
When
they open
15 or 30 minutes. Yeah,
when they open it. But
and then it automatically shuts after that, but then you can reopen it.
So what's the point in fucking automatic?
But they had to have the older brother.
You had to like hack into it. Yeah. But anyway, so we're going to get into a little bit of what they asked people. Everyone had an excuse. Kazuaki wasn't there after school.
Yeah.
But he was, because he told fucking... He said he didn't see her.
Well, yeah, and that was one of the things that I noticed.
He told her that Ryota was in the infirmary.
And so, like, a lot of it, I was like, is Kazuyaka actually behind this?
Yeah, and I thought so too.
Like, what the fuck?
Maybe they were working together, and she was like...
Because I was like, Shu actually does seem like he has a better excuse.
Well, like, not even, because you know that she went to the infirmary.
Yeah, that's true too.
Like, I was actually in the infirmary and didn't see anybody.
You also know that the older brother was never in the infirmary either. He says he was in the infirmary with the doctor the entire day.
And then Ryota was in the fucking infirmary too.
But
and he's like, I went straight home afterwards.
Yeah.
So the doctor's telling you, like, try to remember Ryota. And like, it's really creepy like that.
Yeah, and like, Ryota is talking about his memory, and Nageki is talking about his memory, and him needing to remember something. And he's like, why is everyone telling me I need to remember something? So you find out everyone's story. You find out that Angel was actually in the infirmary too. So now you know, like, you kind of get a little gist of what's going on. Yeah. Like, maybe Angel can confirm Dr. Shu and Yuya's story. Yeah. And they can't find him right away, but they're going to look for him. And that'll get on later. But for now, they go and... What were we just talking about? The hatch and... Not the hatch part. Everyone's... Nageki, sorry. Yeah. So they go to the library to see if they can find out more information about the school. Yes. And this is where we find out about where everything happened with the virus and stuff, right? No, not quite. So this is where you find out the medical center exists. Yes, that's right. So now they're in the medical center. Nageki's there, and he's like, you're going to find that behind the desk. Did you even fucking look? It's weird because... Ryota, right? Ryota. Yeah. Ryota is talking to Nageki. He's the only one ever talking to Nageki in the true ending. And every time you're talking to Nageki, Sakuya is like, who the fuck are you talking to? Why are you talking to yourself, bro? Yeah, why are you talking to those books over there? And he's like, I'm talking to Nageki. What the fuck are you talking about? And Sakua's like, you're going crazy, my friend. Try to hold it together to the end of the investigation. Yeah, he thinks he's losing his sanity because he saw his best friend die. Yeah. So you find out about a medical center. Yes, which was burned down 5 years ago. It's somewhere on campus. Ryota remembers that there's some old building. Yeah. So you go to the old hall. Yeah, you go to the old hall and you break in because it's locked up, and you find some stuff about Hatoful Boyfriend. Yes. Or Project Hatoful. Was it called Hatoful Project Boyfriend? Hatoful. Project Hatoful. So, and they're like, what the fuck is this? I don't understand. And then you go to the doctor's office and they find... This is so weird. You go to the doctor's office and you find 4 files. You find one on Sakura,
one on Yuya, one on you, and one on the main character.
Yes.
No, sorry, not on Yuya, on Angel.
Yes.
And one on the main character.
Yes.
And
no, it was on Sakuya.
Yeah, it's Sakawa, main character,
Ryota,
you
main
as
character,
Ryota,
yeah.
and Angel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, those were the four. And then it explains why Sakawa, of course, later.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
And so and then you get knocked out and all those files get stolen and you didn't read any of them. And I'm like, why did you have your back to the door?
Oh, and why didn't you shut and lock it?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like
some shit happened in that infirmary and you're fucking like, my back's to the door. I'm not going to even pay attention to anyone behind me. And Yuya's the one who knocked you out.
And if Sakuya went with him,
yeah,
he would have definitely known all that.
Yeah.
But like, do we want to go over like what happened or why she's even okay? So there was this virus that happened in humanity.
Yeah. So at this point, this is when you learn about this, I think. Too.
Yeah. So there was this virus that went out. I forgot exactly what it was called.
Oh, I guess no, you learned about it earlier in homeroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a virus. It's H5N1.
Yeah, H5N1, and
it's a bird flu, avian flu.
Yeah, the virus was killing a bunch of birds.
No, killing a bunch of humans.
And then it started killing a bunch of humans. And then once it started killing humans, the humans tried to create something.
No. So actually, it started killing a bunch of humans.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, what happened was they were trying to make it kill only birds.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So they adjusted the virus. They did like a vaccine. And they're like, listen, we can sacrifice the birds. We're humans. We're cooler. And the birds all got smarter instead.
Yeah, instead of them all dying, they all gained intelligence.
And the humans kept dying.
And the humans kept dying, and then there was only certain humans that were immune to the virus, and those were the only ones who basically lived. And then there was a giant war because the birds have intelligence now.
Yeah, the humans didn't like that.
The humans and birds were fighting, and
a lot of humans, like there are not a lot of humans left, and they're forbidden from cities.
Yeah.
They're only allowed in the wilds.
Yep, and the Dove Party wants to
make peace with humans
and be able to cohabitate and live together, and the Hawk Party wants to kill all humans and just have birds rule the world.
Yeah. So they decided to go with this idea, the Dove Party did.
Yeah. That,
hey, we can make a school. We can get a human ambassador in that school, and we can start facilitating this good relationship between humans and birds.
And so apparently there was this program, Project Hatoful, put in effect where they were going to put this female, 15-year-old female,
and they're going to have a bunch of birds fuck her.
And if she started having romantic relationships with birds, they knew that birds could cohabitate with humans. If not, they would kill her. And if she ends up dying in any way, shape, or form, then the entire school goes on lockdown. The dome goes over everyone's head for 12 hours while humans gather around outside and wait to kill all the birds inside.
Yep.
It was some treaty
with
the humans.
God damn, you guys sacrificed a lot of birds who didn't know about this.
Seriously.
No one would have come to this school.
No,
nobody. So yeah, there's a bunch of humans waiting outside because they open the hatch and two birds fly out. They're just random students and one of them gets shot.
Yeah.
And dies.
Yeah. So. As soon as he leaves, which was funny because Ryota was actually going to sacrifice himself and go out.
Yeah. So then, because they had no idea it was humans out there, they just thought it was like a natural disaster because no one explained anything.
Yeah. They did, on the intercom, we found out that the headmaster didn't actually send a thing. It was a bunch of things pulled together to make an intercom. So then you figure out some stuff. You figure out all this stuff about the Hatoful Boyfriend thing, and you go back to Nageki, and Nageki's like, wait. He sneezes just like that.
Alright, so he doesn't sneeze, I promise. But he goes and he tells you like, oh wait, I was here for some reason. I think I had a disease or something, blah, blah, blah. And all this stuff happens. He tells you that he actually hid something here. You find a almanac?
Encyclopedia set.
Encyclopedia set.
Set 1 through 9, but in the library, there's 2 9s and not a 6.
And in the other place, there's 2 6s and not a 9.
In the old hall, there's an encyclopedia set with 2 6s and not a 9.
So in one of the encyclopedias in the library, there's all this proof that it basically tells the story of Nageki. Nageki's this kid who had a rare disease. As a child, he lived in an orphanage, and humans took over the orphanage who were like anti-birds. So they sent 2 humans in to be like...
Which was the main character's parents.
Yeah. 2 humans in to be negotiators, and they killed those people. The other humans did.
Yep.
And then the big shootout, a bunch of birds died. All the people in the orphanage died except for Nageki. And then all the humans died but weren't shot.
And then Nageki's brother Hitori was on his way to the house.
So and then he gets back and he finds Nageki alive, and this was like a big family for him. They were all helping each other out. And he finds Nageki and he's like, no, Nageki, you're alive, but everyone else is dead. This sucks.
Yeah.
So they leave there and they go to, and other stuff happened. We'll get to that near the end.
Yeah.
They leave there. They go to their own apartment. The medical bills are insane because Nageki's sick.
And Nageki can't do anything. He literally has to stay home all the time because if he goes anywhere, he can get very sick and die.
Yeah, so
he's basically
he's got an autoimmune disorder, so his immune system is not as strong as it should be. So he's got this one disease that really fucks humans. It would normally just do nothing to birds and your immune system would fight it off. But because his is weaker, it's incubating inside of them.
Yep.
Whereas with humans, within minutes of being in contact with them, they die.
Yes.
From a respiratory illness.
Yep.
So it's a pretty severe thing. So Dr. Shu figures this out and he's like,
basically, yeah.
And he sends him an invite to Pigeon Nation and says, listen, we could take care of you at our medical center here.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be great. You're going to do great. We're going to cure your shit. Don't worry, bro.
And his brother's so excited about him getting this opportunity. He's like, I don't want to live without you. I'm going to miss you so much.
Yeah, so they write letters back and forth.
Yeah, to the same extent, like, I really think this is a good idea for you. Everything's going to be paid. You're going to have medical attention anytime you need it or want it. And then all of these medical tests doesn't allow him really to talk to his brother. He doesn't get opportunities to see him.
Yep.
He doesn't get opportunities to go to the school to see how things are going. He doesn't really get a lot of information about how he's doing at all.
Only letters, and in the letters, he's very cryptic. And in one of the letters, he says, I'm fine, I'm fine. And whenever he says, I'm fine, that means he's really not doing well.
Yes, and they made a promise 3 years ago to never say I'm fine again.
Yeah.
Because he kept on saying it when he wasn't.
Yeah, so he says that in one letter. He's like, oh, shit, something's wrong. I better go find out.
Yep.
So he sneaks into the school. Somehow he breaks into the school, breaks into a secret lab.
Yep.
Somehow. I'm like, how the fuck did you do all this,
I don't think
guy?
it was a secret lab at that point.
No. The underground part was. That's where he was.
I guess,
he broke into the underground part.
Yeah.
So then a bunch of soldiers start running towards him, some bird scientists. And he's like, they didn't try to capture me because there's a fire down here. And he sees Nageki for the last time, and Nageki says, they've been experimenting on me. They're trying to get me to kill humans. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to kill myself.
And kill all the research.
I'm doing it in a really bad way, though. I'm going to burn alive, so this is probably not a good idea. It's going to be really painful.
Actually, it's burning alive is not as painful as most people think it is.
Have you burned alive before?
From what I hear, you burn all your pain receptors within the first 5 seconds, and then you just basically die.
It's more than I would want to be burned for.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's very painful and excruciating for 5 seconds, but it's a quick death. It's a lot quicker than you would think it would be.
A gunshot would be quicker, but whatever, Nageki, you do what you want.
Well, he needed to burn the files.
So he wanted to, but mostly wanted to burn his body because he didn't want it used in experiments.
Exactly.
Kazuwaki's like, I'll die with you. He's like, no, make me 2 promises. One, you'll do something. You'll get rid of my remains when I die, which you didn't keep. And 2, they don't say till later, but it's like live a good life or something like that. It was
live
really
your life.
Yeah.
Live a full life or whatever. Just like
find love.
Find a way to live without me, basically.
Yeah. So you find all this stuff out. Nageki's dead. Actually, he's a ghost.
Yeah.
You see him because he's like in your liver something. It's weird. But you find out about the secret underground thing.
Yeah.
Ryota's kidnapped at this point by Dr. Shu.
Yeah.
And oh no, he's not kidnapped. They just go down there.
Yeah.
They go down to the secret lab, and they bring. Before that, Yuya is killed.
Yeah.
So
well, he's on the brink of death. He got stabbed with the poison.
To all our knowledge, he's dead.
Dagger. Yeah.
So Dr. Shu reveals, "Ha! Don't you remember what happened, Ryota? You killed." Whatever the main character's name was.
Basically, the doctor implanted the liver of Nageki into...
No, so I don't think he did that. I really think either...
That's what he said. I'm pretty sure.
No. I think it was absorbed by his liver is what the specific was. So
he said he still had his liver, and he used that to give him Ryota the virus.
Well, so in the thing, it said the parts of Nageki that are left are in Ryota's liver.
Yeah.
So what I think he did is either do an injection directly into the liver, which would have been really painful. Don't know how he did it. Or he was giving him stuff that gets absorbed by the liver somehow, and that's...
Well, he weakened his immune system for over a year to get his immune system down to where Nageki's was.
Yeah.
And then did the procedure. And that procedure just happened to be on that day where the main character went into the room and she died of that respiratory illness instantly.
And somehow Ryota just like blocked it out.
Well, I mean, he was fucking unconscious.
Yeah, he just watched this. No, he was up.
Oh, remember? Yeah.
Because he was also like, I guess I'll go home now, like a fucking robot.
Yeah.
He's like, what's she doing on the floor? Oh, well, she's fine. I'm going home. Bye.
Yeah, I guess that's a little weird.
Yeah, weird. Anyway,
we're also finding out while Yuya's dying. Do we want to go into that at all?
Yeah. So they go there. Dr. Shu reveals that he did it. Yuya says, hey, I couldn't tell you because he knows something about me. Sakura, you're actually my real brother. I switched the eggs when mom had your egg and dad or stepdad's original egg, and I crushed dad's original egg and gave him your egg instead, and you're my real brother, not my half brotber.
But the father of the noble family thinks that
he's the real son.
Yeah, he's the real son.
The doctor somehow found out, but they don't explain really how. I'm assuming like a test or something.
I'm guessing it was some medical test because he had those medical records.
Yeah. So he finds out that he's not the real son. So he's been using Yuya to kind of do what he wants because he knows that, and Yuya doesn't want to reveal it because he knows that the dad will give him up.
And he promised Yuya that he wouldn't touch his brother as long as he helped him. Yeah, so he couldn't tell anyone. He's the one who knocked out Ryota earlier to get the files. We also find out that Labor 9 is actually the main character. Her brain
is the only thing that's left.
That's why it's covered in a burlap sack, is because her brain's the only part of her that's still working.
You don't learn that till later, but basically that. And then Shu tries to stab Sakura. Yuya gets in the way. It's a poison tip dagger. Shu runs away. Sakura's like, no, you said you're going to be fine. And Yu's like, I lied. And then he supposedly dies there. You go to find Dr. Shu to exact your revenge of sorts. Ryota, Yuya, and Angel go down. Ryota gets separated from them with a
blockade,
like a fence of some kind.
Yeah, it's some like
it falls from the ceiling and separates them. And Ryota confronts the doctor. The doctor says, "You're going to kill all humans. Don't you remember the promise you made?" And it turns out Dr. Shu's name is Issa, and he worked with Ryota's dad and really respected him, and were kind of friends, I guess. It's hard to tell, really. And his dad
almost
died.
Seemed like he might have been romantic, or wanted to be romantic with his father.
Could have been.
Or at least was just that kind of friendship where he just respected and loved him so much that he wanted to do anything for him. And his dying wish was to, if you ever met my son, to help him out. Yeah.
So he's dying of a disease. He ends up dying. Shu promises to help him out. Shu meets him right after the main character's parents are killed by the orphanage people.
Yes.
And he's like, so what would you like me to do? And both of them, he really takes this out of context.
Yeah.
Both of them say, I want humans and birds to live in peace. The main character and Ryota say that. Both of them fucking say that. And he's like, oh, kill all humans, huh? That's an interesting development. I'll try it.
I think he says something to the effect of like,
the only peace can be brought with killing the humans.
Yeah. And
it's just like the dumbest way to fucking do that ever. Just imagine me telling you, I need you to make peace with this person. You want to fucking kill this person? A deal.
Who is it?
It's so weird. Such a weird way to take. So that's why he's developing this disease, and he uses Ryota, which is weird too.
I'll kill Kelsey.
Like, dude, it's so weird that he did this too, because he ends up like he knows that Ryota's going to die from this.
Yeah.
So he's killing his best friend's son.
Yeah.
Why?
He's making a biological weapon first. I really don't know. I think
I
don't understand the doctor. Like, I wish they did the doctor so much better.
Yeah.
He's by far the worst character in this game. He's by far the least interesting character in this game.
But the story is so good around him. They could have done better.
Good. Like, every other character, like you said, with Angel is so good. The main character is so good. Like, Sakura is so good. Like, so many of these characters end up being super interesting.
Yeah.
But the doctor is just
the least interesting.
He's just crazy.
So, he brainwashes Ryota somehow. I assume through drugs. It doesn't really explain how, but Ryota's eyes turn red and he turns like, evil Ryota.
Yeah.
So then everyone has to go in. Kazuaki joins them and they're all trying to change him, so they all beat the living shit out of him.
Which Angel brings them into his reality so they can all fight him mentally.
Yeah, so they beat the living shit out of him mentally. And he's like, guys, I'm me again. Please stop hitting me. And Dr. Shu's like, oh no, I have been defeated.
Yep. And then fucking the teacher
shoots him.
Out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck?
Because they were all going to kill him. And then Ryota's like, no, he has to get his day in court. I was like,
why?
So the teacher shoots him in his right side. Because his left side was disabled. Yeah, from some accident he had. So he shoots him in his right side. He's like, you knew about my left side. Interesting.
Very smart of you.
Hattori. So it turns out that that's the orphanage guy.
Yep. He's Nageki's brother.
Like, adopted brother. Yeah. So, and he's like, I want to know where Nageki is. And he already knows he's dead, but he knows that there's parts left of him.
Yeah.
So, and he tells him like, oh, it's in fucking Ryota's liver. I don't know what you want from me.
So then, he pulls.
So he shoots him again. He shoots him in the chest this time. It's like, you're a good shot. You're avoiding any vital organs. It's so funny.
It's so out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, out of absolutely
so
fucking
this is
nowhere.
probably the worst part of the game. It's
by far.
Ryota and Hattori go in a different room, and he's like, Hattori's all crazy, and he's got his dark side, his shadow
self. Is really being negative and twisting on Nageki's words and just saying, you need to kill everyone, you need to do all this, you need to destroy my body. He's like, I never asked you to promise me that.
Yeah, it's like, I never said that.
And then because part of Nageki's in Ryota, what the I don't know why I keep saying Hattori.
Hattori is going to kill him. That's the point. He's going to take his liver and destroy it.
And so Nageki's like, hey bro,
can
I take over your body for a second?
You're going to need me. And he's like, that's not what I promised you, Hattori. Remember, I said live a good life, not kill all people. Don't you remember? It's two very different things. So
it's your shadow self, man. You're beating yourself up.
So
you need to fucking move the fuck on.
You have to fight the shadow self, and you have to just choose options, basically. And no matter what you choose, you win.
Yeah.
So you stop him from killing you. He becomes like normal again, and he hasn't been narcoleptic for a while, so I don't know where the fuck that went.
I don't know.
So you go out, and you're all leaving. It's 12 hours on the dot, and the humans start rushing in. So this is a confusing part, too. It said, like, the humans are going to find the underground lab. Like, how the fuck are they going to find the underground lab?
Seriously.
How are they going to...
I mean, eventually, but not quickly.
No. And they're like, they're going to find it right away. We got to get out of here.
No, they're going to run to the gymnasium and kill all the fuckers that are being loud in there. Why are we still in here?
Yeah, so they pulled all the gymnasium people out, remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they pulled them through
the one did it.
The one did it, yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes back for Yuya's body. And he's like, I'll get his body, don't worry. And everyone starts to leave, and then Ryota's like, no, Chu's allowed to live for some reason. Just the weirdest fucking shit.
And then he wants to be frozen with Labor 9 until they can find a way to cure the disease.
So they don't get frozen. They're just left there.
Oh, okay.
So literally, I don't know. It should be frozen. So Labor 9, they think they might still be alive, but before all of this, to get past Labor 9, they have to use the stun gun at max setting after Labor 9's wet.
Yeah, they spray him with a fire hose and then stun him.
Yeah, so and then it ruins the brain, and so they think they actually killed the main character for real.
Yeah, or at least damaged it so it would never have any personality or any of the same traits.
So you can't use, apparently the doctor thought you could use the brain still. I don't understand, again, how.
I don't either.
So the doctor, everyone leaves but you, because you're like, listen, this disease is going to kill everyone I meet. I'll stay here. I'll stay in the underground, which they were worried about the humans invading, so I don't know why the fuck he's down there.
Well, I mean, if the humans invade, they'll die.
They'll die, yeah, but it's just weird. So they're like, listen, we'll come back for you. So I think that's where it differentiates. So if you don't do all the endings, this is where it says, like, that's where it ends.
And then there's the dream sequence ending.
Yeah.
Well, it says it's a possibility of a dream, but it also seems like it's real.
Where they're talking?
The end of the game after that ending.
The dream sequence?
Where they actually do go back to him? Yeah,
it doesn't seem like a dream because they do a whole thing. They do a whole thing after.
I think it's one of the maybe it was like something in the achievement said something about the dream.
Yeah, I think it's the dream. Like you,
but not a dream, but the dream.
Yeah. So this is like, so they both stay and they're like somehow communicating. It doesn't really explain how that Ryota and the main character. She's just a fucking brain. That's all she is.
Well, her kindled spirit is still talking to her, which I don't get how, like, because I get him talking to Nageki because Nageki's
dead,
but she's dead.
Because Nageki can talk to her.
Well, and even she helped fight him when he was his dark self. Yeah,
the mystery person.
She was just a blue orb in this scene. You're like, what the fuck? Why is she a blue orb now? What?
So she's a ghost, and they just chat down there, apparently. Afterwards, you find out Yuya's alive. The doctor, or the one, Leone, gave him a cure for the poison that he was stabbed with.
Yep.
And he's fine, and Sakura's like, why didn't you tell me sooner?
I warned for you.
Yeah, so he's pissed about it. So they get to know each other better. And they promise to go back for them if they found a cure. So then it goes kind of in the future.
Yeah.
They're all like doing better. What's weird is Dr. Shu and Kazuaki are like best friends now.
Yeah. He's pushing him around in Dr. Shu's wheelchair.
Yeah, because he shot him, you know.
Yeah, and he's disabled on both sides.
Yep. So he shot him. He's disabled on both sides, pushing him around in a wheelchair.
He found someone else to take care of.
But I think he found a cure, so they end up going back to the place and saying, Ryota, are you here? And Ryota doesn't answer, so you have no idea how the game really ends.
It shows a picture with all of them together at the end.
So you assume that they found a cure, and the main character is also somehow alive.
I don't know about the main character, but I know it showed all the birds.
Possibly the main character might be alive still. The brain is probably dead, but apparently her spirit lives on.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, that's but that story is so good. Like, if I would have read that in the book, I would have been like, holy shit, this is really fucking good.
It was so intriguing.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, if anything else, just fucking play this.
Just for that. Oh my god. And there's so much we couldn't get into because the story is huge. Like, you can get through the main story in maybe an hour 15.
And it's like 4 hours for the last.
The last part is 4 fucking hours long. Yeah. It is insane. But anyway, we're going to move on to...
Worth or not?
I'm going to say worth. 100% worth. Because that last part is so good. Again, it's like reading a really fucking good book.
This game is only $10.
Yeah.
100% worth the entertainment you get from this last ending for that.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's creepy, it's interesting, it's thrilling, it gets you wondering.
And if you just like the weird date stuff, you can do that too. I mean, like, it has a lot for a lot of different
honestly, the date stuff, it doesn't seem like it matters at all. But there's things in the true ending where you're like, oh, that's why this character did this. Like, there's so many revelations
there's things you find and stuff.
Yeah.
And people are weird. And
you're like, oh my god, that's why you're fucked. Oh my god.
So, yeah, if I were you guys,
that's why you're just in the library.
Steven's right. It's $10. It's not that much money.
No.
It should be more like a $5 game, but $10 is not bad. So.
Honestly, like, any game you're going to get for under $20 is really not that bad a price. Like, even Minecraft, I think, is still $20, which, I mean, that's a game you can play forever and unlimited maps, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, like, games nowadays, especially with, like, the newer consoles getting up to, like, the $70 range and getting all these extra DLCs and stuff, where, like, even, like, games like Far Cry 6 have these $40 DLCs for the next year of DLCs. So you're spending $100 on the game, and you can play for 100 hours or whatever in it. But, like, if you're spending less than $20 in a game and you find a lot of entertainment for it, I think it's worth it.
Yeah. And honestly, this game was so much fun in that last ending. It was such a good story, guys. You will love it.
And we didn't go over every single detail.
Go into it and actually play it.
It's really cool to go into.
Yeah. And you're going to love it because we did.
Yes.
We loved it so much. So yeah, that was Hatoful Boyfriend. Hatoful Hurtful Boyfriend.
You hurtful boyfriend, you.
All right, so what's next week's game?
Dark Sector.
So Dark Sector is a game that I played when I was a kid and I remember zero about, but I started playing and I'm like, this game's way better than I remember.
Actually, I saw it on a list too after you had brought it up, and it was actually on one of like the underrated games list.
Yeah, I was like, just some stuff in it is really bad.
Yeah, there are bad parts.
The user interface apparently is really shit.
But a lot of people like the weapon you use in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the glaive. The glaive is fucking sweet.
So
you can cut people in half with it. It's fucking the shit.
Yes.
So that's next week's game. So we will see you on the next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Miss you.
Goodbye.
I'll think about you.
Goodbye.
All of you.